My name is Daniel Short. I am the director of the Small Business Development Center, housed at Navarro College. Our SBDC covers Ellis County, Navarro, Limestone, and Freestone County. What the SBDC is here to do is to provide no-cost consulting services to any small business that's eligible. So that's anybody looking to start, anybody looking to grow, as long as they meet SBA standards, which is typically 300 employees or less, or $10 million and less in revenue, we can help that business. We do everything from marketing to finance to how do I start, to brainstorming, sometimes talking you out of it. So whatever you guys need, we're here to do. Again, no cost. We're housed at Navarro College, and we would be happy to help you. I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves, and then we're going to get into some questions that we have, some discussion topics, and then we'll open it up for Q&A at the end. So Kelleyton, would you like to introduce yourself? Very good. Okay, there's two ladies here. He's a gentleman. Jordan, would you like to introduce yourself, and then we'll go to Amber.
Absolutely. I'm Jordan Molina with Jordan E's Popcorn and Candy Company. Before you say anything, I know we closed our store, but we have paved the way in our consulting for Waxahachie's newest popcorn and candy store. I am also the advancement director at the Heights Ellis County, and we help survivors of domestic abuse.
Hello, I'm Amber Adams. I own the Velvet Angel Boutique in downtown Waxahachie. I've been in business 20 years this year, yay. Also, I am the president of the Ellis County Museum, so I have a heart for service, and I have a big passion for promoting downtown and working collaboratively with other businesses in downtowns and surrounding to make everybody stay afloat.
Good morning. Okay, good morning. Thank you. Kelleyton Wilson, co-owner of the UPS store, multiple locations, primarily Waxahachie. Also, we focus in a lot of commercial development outside of that. We're serial entrepreneurs, but more importantly, have a focus hard on service as well.
Excellent. So 3 unique backgrounds, which hopefully will provide 3 unique perspectives on business and how to tackle certain things. And so what I'm going to do is going to go through some questions, and we're going to kick some things around. If you guys want to take it in a different direction or go off a tangent, feel free to do that, or you could follow up on somebody else's question. That's fine too. So I'm going to start with you, Jordan. So we know that your business is recently closed, and you have helped guide the next venture in that field. How have you turned what some might see as an ending of an opportunity to a new opportunity for growth, both personally and for the community, Waxahachie?
I think it is very important to be involved in your community, and every stepping stone builds on one another. So yes, even though our storefront closed, the relationships that I have built in Downtown Merchants with Amber and many of you in this room are continuing to help me in my ventures at the Heights Ellis County and Hatley Realty Group. So everything, it goes full circle, and one step leads to another, and that's what you have to remember, is the relationships that you make will continue with you and grow with you.
I want to add to that. So I have been in business for 20 years, but at one point in my career, I owned 5 locations of boutiques. And so in that progress of growth, I started out as a on-the-road business. I did the Canton Flea Market for 12 years. I had a truck and trailer, and I did 28 shows a year for about 8 years before I actually started a brick and mortar. So it was a big hustle. And so at every point when I thought I could grow, I would open a new store. And then it got to the point where you stop and reflect on yourself and ask yourself, what am I doing? What are my goals? What are my ambitions? And what are my passions? And so I want business owners to know, especially like Jordan, sometimes your path changes. And so now I'm down to 1 store in downtown Waxahachie. It is the love of my life. It's my one constant that I never have to worry about, and it's where I make an impact. It's where the community that surrounds me and supports me is there every day, come rain or shine. So changes happen. And the thing is, you just have to see the progress in it and keep moving forward. So don't get discouraged. When you're growing and growing and growing, sometimes that stops and your path changes.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Where we start is not always where we end. And in the middle, we could be at 5 stores. And I remember how chaotic it was. So your priorities can change, and that's cool. It could be more time. It could be better location. It could be single location. So that's a great thing. Also, the Downtown Association, just another plug. Anything like that that you could be a part of, if you qualify to be a member by being downtown, or you just want to be involved in that, they would love to have you. And those groups of businesses work together for the common good of Waxahachie. So I'd just give them a plug too.
Yeah, there's nowhere else, we get a lot of compliments about our Downtown Merchants Association. There's nowhere else in this United States probably that you can get more promotion and more collaboration for $150 a year than you can in our downtown. I mean, it's amazing. And I just want to say too about focusing, like going from 5 stores to 1. My 1 store is more profitable than 5 stores together ever were. So don't ever underestimate the possibilities of actually focusing on something and going for it.
That's right. Exactly. So Kelleyton, what sort of qualities do you think every entrepreneur should possess?
Well, when we talk about qualities of entrepreneurship, I think first and foremost, we need to define what success looks like. If I were to poll this room and ask you, how many of you want to be successful by a show of hands? How many hands would go up? How many of you want to be successful? And so I think this is where I'm a contrarian thinker. I think success is a bad thing. Let me tell you why. Success is a very self-centered thing. It means you've done well, you've attained a certain status. What I focus on is being significant. What's the difference? Success focuses on you. Significance means you do something far greater than yourself. One day, someone's going to preach my eulogy, and guess what? If they get up there and say, Kelleyton was a great businessman, I'm going to turn over in my casket. Because I don't want to be remembered for that. What I want to be remembered for is making impacts on lives I will never meet. That's how we run our business. Everything we do is always geared towards something greater than ourselves. Most people say customer service is an amazing thing. Every customer should have a great experience. Again, as a contrarian thinker, I go a step further. I don't believe in a customer experience. I believe in a people experience. You can't treat your people horribly and expect them to treat customers well. It doesn't work that way. So again, I'm a faith guy. Matthew 23:11 says, the greatest amongst you will be a servant. No one outserves me in our entities, period. So if you operate from that perspective, I think everything else takes care of itself.
That's a very good answer. I like that. That's good. Sometimes it can be difficult running a business because you have a personal life too, and a lot of it is integrated, right? But where you can make an impact both in the business and personally, I think that's where everything kind of aligns. So that's great. Amber, what are some of the best ways to reach customers and keep them informed?
So I know, I'm a boutique, so my customer base, so I'm a brick and mortar. I also do a few shows still a year that are just great kind of reunions for me because I get to see the same customers. They're down in Chapel Hill, Texas, if anybody knows where that's at. So I travel and do some shows like that just because it's friends. Customers become friends. They're my people. It's just like a reunion. But every business is different. But for me, keeping attached to and keeping in touch with my customers is key. So one of the things that works best for me as a retail store is a texting system. So I know the marketing companies have talked about it as well, but I text my customers at least once a week and let them know what's up. And I don't just text about my business and about what specials I have going on. I let them know about every event that's going on downtown. I want them to feel like they are a part of not just my business, but my community. So I have customers from all over the state that come in, and I beg them for their information at checkout. And that's part of training. I have 6 part-time employees that come and help me at my store. I'm open 7 days a week. Come see me. But my girls know to ask people to join our rewards program because it's not just a rewards program. It's a reward for you to know what's going on in our downtown. It's an invitation for you to come have an experience in our downtown. So if we're going to have a ladies' night out the second Thursday of every month from 5 to 8 p.m., I'm going to text you that week and say, hey, here's a reminder. Come downtown. It's free sips and snacks, and you can just browse. You don't have to buy anything, but it's an experience for you to come see our downtown. So just that texting program, find something that fits your business that helps you connect to customers. And don't always make it about business. Make it about an experience that they're going to have, because that's what's going to bring them back is an experience.
That's very good advice, for sure. Those loyalty programs are almost required now because so many different stores have them. Definitely the national stores. So if you want to try to compete on that level, if you're not doing that, you're probably getting left out. But just the way that Amber does it doesn't mean it's the way that you have to do it either. So you can kind of develop your own program that works good for you. Jordan, so you have closed the popcorn store and you've moved on to working at a nonprofit. And nonprofits are very important, and they are businesses as well. They still need to generate revenue. They have expenses. So give us an idea of how your background as a small business owner has helped you shape your approach to growth and sustainability in that nonprofit space.
My position as Advancement Director of the Heights, my sole responsibility is donor relations, funding, grant writing, etc. So when my boss over here says, hey, I want to build another building or I want to do this, I'm like, okay, hold on. We got to do one at a time because I have to cultivate the relationships with the potential donors and businesses. It's not an overnight, hey, I need money, please give it to me. It's, hi, I've built a relationship with you. Here is what we are needing. Here is what our clients are needing. Are you able to help? I'm more likely to say yes if someone asks me that, if they've taken the time to get to know me, get to know my family, have lunch with me, have coffee with me, rather than someone just calling me out of the blue asking for money. So with my small business, volunteering and serving in my community helped me create those relationships and learn what is important to people in my community. What heartstrings can I pull to then make the nonprofit I work at successful? And many of us are very involved and serve in so many different nonprofits that everyone in this community has a huge heart. So we want to help one another and not just ask for my nonprofit that I work for, but also the other nonprofits. For example, CASA, Education Foundations. I want you guys to support them as well. We are all a team and a family, and we're not competition.
Very good. Very good. And that's a great point. As those nonprofits work together for the greater good, that makes the most impact. Kelleyton, what have been some of your biggest learning experiences in running your business?
I think the one of the things I've learned is that you are going to fail. Period. If you're not prepared to fail, don't run a business. Anyone who tells you they have not failed probably has not run a business. So failure is inevitable, but how you respond to it is everything. There are three characteristics that I look at. One is your IQ, your intelligence quotient. The second one is your EQ, your emotional quotient. How do you handle or respond in the heat of anger? Are you empathetic when you engage people? But there's a third component that most people don't even think about, but I think is more important than those two combined, and that's your AQ, your adversity quotient. When adversity happens, how do you respond? If I have a choice between hiring someone who's intelligent, emotional, or someone who handles adversity, I'm going to go with the person with the greatest AQ over the other two all day. Because as a business owner, you are going to experience more pitfalls than you can imagine. You're going to have more sleepless nights than you can imagine. But what I also know is that going through those moments make you appreciate the peaks even more so. But they also show you some things that you didn't know you had inside yourself. They build that internal fortitude that I think every business owner has to have in order to be able to accomplish their goals.
Yeah, that's a great answer again. It is resiliency. It's road tested. You know, it's a way that to get to where you are or where you want to go. There are so many valleys that you have to get through, and you'll get to those peaks. But those valleys are what alters the business in the way that it ends up being. So as you learn things in business and you pivot and you do things differently, the whole idea, do things better, it could be a better business. But you would not learn that without those failures. The failures can be small, but they will come. And those are the times to make that move. So that's a great question.
I want to say too to that, it's how you treat people. And it's the entire, from the moment you decide to open a business till the day it ends. It's not only how you treat your customer people, but it's how you treat your people. Because those people represent you day in, day out. So think about that whenever you're thinking about how to reward your employees. Figure out what their triggers are. Like, would buying her a pedicure, get her to work harder? Would giving her, money to help her pay her rent, maybe a bonus? I mean, people are just so different. You have to figure out what triggers people have and how to entice them and just treat them all individually.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Amber, I do want to know more about your inventory. I'm going to just kind of I know that you have been around for a long time, and you've probably changed drastically the way you do inventory. Like we have worked with people long enough that they started with ledgers. They started writing it down. Manual cash register. It's crazy. So in your store, how do you handle the inventory, your point of sale, and kind of talk about that?
So I did all that. I started with pen and paper whenever I was at Canton my first time, and then I transferred into a Walmart cash register. And of course, now I have Shopify, which is an iPad system that keeps your inventory, coordinates with online, has the website, the whole 9 yards. It's great. Analytics out the wazoo. I can tell you 60% of my customers, actually 62% of my customers are from out of the area. Like, it's amazing. So if you can afford something like that, if you've got a retail business, to tell you, because it calculates your credit card processing. Like, it tells you where customer zip codes are from, so you can actually see where everybody's coming from. But as far as inventory, if you've got a physical inventory and it needs to turn over, the biggest part, and this is just coming from like clothing retail business, you gotta let go. There's gotta be a point in your business where you let go of the inventory. Don't hold on to it. Don't still have that inventory from the pen and paper ledger whenever you're on to Shopify that's still sitting in your store. You've got to have turnover, let go of it. And I think it's the same thing for whenever you're carrying the wrong product. We've had lots of businesses in downtown that open and they think that, this is gonna be the game changer. Whether it be an American-made product, the whole store is gonna be American-made, the whole store is gonna be men's goods. And they get into a storefront and realize, this is the wrong product. It's not selling. Make a swift move to translate into something that sells. Look around. You don't have to copycat everyone, but you can incorporate things that you can trial to see if they'll work, and your business will move from that. Maybe it may not even be the same business. It's under the same roof, it's under the same name, but it may be a different product from what you began with. So don't be scared to change and to get rid of whenever something's not working. Liquidate it.
Very good. Very good. We see that all the time. We see retail stores carrying the inventory that collects so much dust on it that you can draw little pictures, because they feel like once they bought that thing, let's say it's $100, they have to get $100 or it's a failure. I'm saying if you got $10 and you lost $90, it's better than it's sitting there, because it allows opportunity for new items to go in that space. It kind of breeds this new change. It gives you cash, even if it's only 10 cents on the dollar. There's still cash to go buy new things. So inventory is hugely important in retail, and you got to stay on top of that. So very, very good insight there. Okay, Jordan, you have been heavily involved in local chambers, the Junior Service League, Downtown Merchants, as you said. What would you say to entrepreneurs or those in nonprofit who question whether community involvement is really worth the time commitment that you have to do?
I can open a business, start a nonprofit, open the doors. That doesn't mean they will come. I know the saying is open the doors and they'll come. Not necessarily. People have to know you're there. And to know you're there, you have to introduce yourself to people. You have to be involved in your community. And I know I sound like a broken record, but that's very important to me. That is how I built relationships and got all of the best customers at the popcorn store, was because I met them somewhere. And then anytime they thought they needed a gift, a snack or a fun place to take the kids, they thought of me because I've had a conversation with them. I've seen them in the community. And the Waxahachie Junior Service League is one amazing way to meet other women in the community that are in the same space of life as you are, or more experienced or less experienced, but they become your service sisters. You don't just see them at meetings and say hi and bye, you serve with them. We go to different organizations and just volunteer our time. And you build amazing relationships when you're serving and working hand in hand with each other.
Can I piggyback on that?
Absolutely.
I think there are two things that are important. One is intentionality. The second is motive. Be intentional about engaging people in the community. But secondly, make sure you do it with the right motive. If you're engaging people for the purpose of winning them as a customer, they can sense it. They can see right through it when it's not genuine. One of the quotings that I say, I call it a Kelleytonism. One of the things I say is that the authentic version of yourself will always be better than a carbon copy of someone else. And when you're engaged in the community, and this is something that we made a commitment to from day one, is every quarter we attempt to do something to give back to the community. Many of you may know that this Saturday we have a very large event coming up at our store, if you hadn't heard about it. But every quarter we try to be intentional about giving back to the community, not because it gets us notoriety or media coverage, but because that's who we are. Whether I was with UPS or if I was selling snow cones, this would still be who I am because this is how I was raised. And so just be authentic to who you are. Make sure you do it with intentionality, but also make sure you do it with the right motive in mind.
Can I piggyback one more? And I was raised with my mother and my grandmother being very involved in their community. They showed me the importance of serving. So when you are serving in your community, know that your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, nephews, or your friends' kids are looking at you, and what you display is what they are then going to grow into.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Yeah, and you don't have to be involved in everything. If you want to pick one thing and be heavily involved in one thing, have their passion in one thing, that's okay. But you need to be involved in something because that community sort of empowerment will pay itself back in your store tenfold. So you will meet new customers, you will have access to them, but you'll also have some fulfilling things happen. And then whenever it's time to do business with somebody, they'll always remember that. So keep that in mind. Kelleyton, I want you to give me a answer to this. You have to change and morph yourself in order to be in business sometimes. You said you have some sleepless nights, things like that. But what will you not compromise in running a business?
That answer is the same for me in business and in life, and that's my integrity. My biggest fear is messing it up. And I think that our private preparation will help us avoid public humiliation. My biggest goal is to make sure that the life I lead in public is the same life I'm leading behind the scenes. I have people that surround me and hold me accountable, whether I'm in business or my personal life. My biggest concern is making sure that I never compromise my integrity, not just for me, but because I owe people. My grandfather is 94 years old. He sacrificed a lot to give me an opportunity. I have so many family members that I can never repay for their sacrifice. And so I walk with that every single day. And so for me, my integrity and everything that was instilled in me growing up is something I would never compromise, whether that's professionally or personally.
Very good. Very good. And that's certainly true. If you do things on the fringe, then people notice. So integrity, very important. Amber, as a downtown merchant especially, what we see is those businesses that are really successful and really help promote those organizations are those that work together. What we call co-branding or co-marketing. What sort of ideas could you share with us on how to work with other businesses to be successful?
It's all about cooperation. And the biggest thing about being a business, especially a new business, is show up, be consistent. If there's an organization that's trying to promote your area or your type of businesses, get involved in that and show up to meetings. I know it's a sacrifice. I know we all have kids and things going on, but you have to show up because it takes a team. And so for the last 15 years of being in downtown Waxahachie, we have our Downtown Merchants Association. And I'm the biggest cheerleader of keeping everyone involved. So we put events on the calendar. Like, that's the biggest thing, is just getting people to acknowledge that our downtown has so much to offer. We have 12 boutiques, over 12 boutiques. We have 25 restaurants. We have 6 antique stores. We have so much to offer. And if you have that many stores telling the same story, people cannot ignore it. I mean, we have people that come from McKinney and Waco and all over the place to shop our downtown and say, no one else has this. No one else has this kind of collaboration. And so you can come into my shop and talk to me, and I ask you, which one of our biggest questions is, what are you looking for today? Well, I'm looking for a pair of black leggings. Well, I don't have them, but hang on just a second. I'm about to text all 12 other boutiques in this town and find out where black leggings are, because I'm going to keep you downtown shopping in my downtown, and we're going to have OPM right here in our downtown. Other people's money is staying right here. You have to do that. You have to work together. And so get to be friends with your neighbors, and figure out ways to do events where you collaborate and you get, like what we do is when you come in our store, I give you a map and I say, go to these 5 stores and they're all going to give you a free drink, or they're going to give you a free snack, or they're going to enter you to win a grand prize. It's just working together with your area's businesses. Don't look at them as competitors. Look at them as other branches of your own business. Because just because you don't have that exact product that they have, send them to that other store. Help each other out, because if you all succeed, you all will succeed. You'll all rise. So work together.
Exactly right. You keep the money here locally. It will stay. It compounds. And if it can't be downtown, we want it in Waxahachie. If it can't be in Waxahachie, we want it in Ellis County. If it can't be in Ellis County, North Texas, and so on. So. Do the right thing, and it will come back to you. So what I want to do is I'm going to ask some kind of more general questions, and then we'll just have each of you kind of answer or provide some thoughts on each one of them. The first one, Jordan, is, was your business around before the pandemic? And if it wasn't, that's okay. I understand that. And what sort of things did you do to get through that? That was something that every business had to face, and every city was different. Every state was different. What did you do?
So we opened the popcorn store October of 2019, 5 months before the pandemic hit. What in the world was I going to do? And my mom is my co-owner, we said, okay, we cannot have our doors open right now. We were a food establishment, so we could still do curbside and pick up. So that was our saving grace. So at that moment, we said, what holiday is coming up? Easter. We created Easter baskets, posted them online, and said, you can't get in the stores to get your kids' Easter baskets, but we have them ready for you. That was our saving grace, is figuring out how are we going to walk through this path, because we're brand new. A lot of people don't know who we are yet or what we offer. So we had to make sure that they knew then and there that they could get gifts even when they couldn't go to other stores. And part of the Downtown Merchants Association, they were continuously promoting all the downtown stores, whether they were able to have walk-in customers or not. It was continuously promoted.
So we took the opportunity to do renovations. So we did improvements inside the store when we couldn't talk to customers. And then we decided to take our show online. So I had my employees show up, and we would do fashion shows. So literally, we would buy gallons of margaritas and have a fashion show at the store. And I'm telling you what, we entertained. Sometimes I want to pull some of those videos back up because it was pretty entertaining. So we would be there and we would just show you what we had in store. And then thank goodness we had curb pickup. So we could put customers' items and they could pull up and pick them up. But the thing that we did is the downtown for the Merchants Association is we did a sign program. So we called our local sign maker and we asked him to make inspirational graphics to put on every business that wanted them to put it on their glass outside of their stores. So you can still see a lot of those at a lot of the stores. If you go around downtown, you'll see these like hashtag inspirational quotes on windows. And those have stayed around since the pandemic because we truly all pulled together and promoted each other. We'd get online, and not only would I promote myself in my fashion show, I would promote all the other boutiques downtown. I would promote the popcorn store. I would promote the restaurants that were serving, curbside. It was all about collaboration and promotion of everyone around you so that we all could make it through it.
And our quote was, "This too shall pass," and it's still on our window. And that's something that we prayed every day. This too shall pass. And sure enough, here we are.
Exactly. We all had to go through it, so you might as well make the best of it. And it sounds like that was fun. Kelleyton, were you around or no?
We were around, but we were in acquisition phase, but we were in essential business. And so our business actually increased. And then following the pandemic, for the next 2 years, we doubled revenues. So we were essential, and I think the pandemic actually made people more aware of the services we provided.
Yeah, we saw a lot of businesses actually grow. I know majority did not, and unfortunately, a lot of them went away and have not come back. And that's we don't want that. But some businesses took advantage of the situation and made it the best of it and actually grew. So it is possible if you can pivot quickly. You can still get through pretty tough things like a pandemic that shuts every door down. So that's very good. Another question, Jordan. What sort of marketing strategies have worked for you? And is there anything that has not produced adequate results without throwing somebody under the bus that's here?
We have had many different trials and errors throughout our marketing experiences. One thing that worked well for us was donating gift baskets to nonprofit silent auctions, and we would put popcorn for a year cards in those. So yes, they got a great gift arrangement of something they could enjoy right then and there, but also a card that if they wanted to redeem that, they had to come into our store 52 times that year to redeem it, once a week. And sure enough, they did. Even if it was a kid that was dragging their parent, "Mom, we have to go. We haven't gone this week to get our popcorn." That was probably one of the most successful things that we've done. One thing that hindered us was trying to do social media and marketing on our own. Yes, I'm 31 years old, so I should be able to do social media, right? No, that is not my forte, nor do I want it to be. So we did Chase Life Marketing, helped us for a while, and they were amazing. And they really showed me what it takes to have a successful social media. So those were some trials and errors and amazing things.
I would say I have done kind of a transition on my marketing plan. Chase Life has also helped me with website and design and that sort of thing and knows exactly what to do. I've just been in my spot for so long. I have so much local business and following. It's amazing for me to do that. But I've also transitioned into, we get asked every day for donations. So I know your kid's baseball team. I know your daughter's soccer team, all the things. So every day somebody comes in and asks. So I just started doing a standard gift card donation. So if you come into my store, pretty much, I'm going to give you a standard gift card. Please don't everyone come into my store and ask for a gift card. Oh my God. But there's so many great community things that I want to donate to, but I can't do them all. So I decided to transition some of my marketing dollars into gift card marketing. So when someone comes into my store and asks me for a donation, I give them a gift card. Because as a retail location, you know what that's going to guarantee? They're coming in the door. They're going to see what I got. It's my job when they get there to impress them and get them to buy something. But if you have not been in my store, when you come in, you're going to find something. There is something in there you're going to like. So that's kind of the marketing trend that I've taken is if I can get them in the door, that's where the key is. So gift card promotion is where it's at for me.
That's a great idea. And the whole point is for them to spend over that gift card amount, right?
Yeah, and typically I'll do like a $10 gift card. So if you come in, you can find something for $10, but most of the time you're going to want this beautiful shirt that's $40, and I might make a little bit of money on you. But in my marketing budget, it works. Like a $10 gift card, to bring you into the store is way more of a better per person average than I'm going to get on ROI on print or T-shirts or getting my name put on the back of a T-shirt for a kid's baseball team or something like that that's going to end up in thrift. So get them in your store.
Excellent, excellent. Kelleyton, I know I wanted you to maybe touch the marketing strategies for you because you're a franchise, right? So you have some corporate marketing, I'm sure, but you also probably have a local flair for marketing. What kind of strategies do you have?
Involvement, period. We sponsor a lot of events. I don't know how many galas we went to this year in multiple locations. We partner with a number of companies in the community. Baylor Scott and White over there, they're one of our customers, and we got a few others in the room. But we've been very strategic about aligning ourselves with those who can help us make inroads, especially in newer communities that we're penetrating. So we partner strategically at the community level. We partner with other businesses. In addition to that, we also facilitate a number of community events personally. So between those three levels, coupled with our corporate marketing, all those things has really helped us keep a presence in every community we serve.
Excellent, excellent. That can be tricky. Sometimes with a franchise, they want to take care of the marketing. There's a reason you're in a franchise is because they know what they're doing. So you have to let them, but every now and then it gets a little sticky. So we have a few minutes left. If anybody has any questions, we would love to pose those. If there's no questions, I could keep making up questions to ask for you on your behalf. But if there's nobody wants to ask a question. Okay. So, here we go.
Hi there, Douglas again. I'm back. Okay, this time I'll even stand up. With a lot of my clients that I consult with business-wise, there's a fear of the first starters that I sit down with. The people that are like, I don't even have a logo. Those are the people that come to me. What would you say to them to encourage them to get their head into the game? I mean, you guys talk about how you have such a large base at this point where you're like, well, my marketing kind of naturally happens. What do you say to the person that's like, I don't know anyone's name in this room. I don't know what I'm doing, you know? Thank you.
Yeah, I would say, first of all, you need to know where your community has support. So if you know nothing, a marketing company is probably where you should start if you're not even that far into it. But like for me, there are so many resources online for businesses, retail businesses, as far as like, there's an organization called Boutique Hub, which is big for retail, especially women's clothing, items like that. Boutique Hub has everything from starting your business that you can buy for, I think, $100 a year. They have like a planner that shows you how to do your finances, how to do your marketing. I mean, the whole 9 yards. So it's an all-inclusive program. So there are programs out there for retail boutiques that work for it.
So for ones that don't even have a logo or colors or branding yet, what I did, I walked into Home Depot, went to the big color swatch wall, and just picked colors from there. I mean, it was that simple, but it made a huge difference. I mean, those are our colors. That's what we used for 6 years. And then also just contacting the local Chamber of Commerce, and that's a great starting place to then get connected.
For me, I would say, first and foremost, every business is different. So I don't know if that answer is consistent across all segments. It's going to vary. People are starting at different points. If I were heading to your house, the first question you would ask me is, where am I coming from? That would be my first question before I could give you a thorough answer. The second part of that is, I think it's very, very important to understand that experience is not the best teacher. And I say that because other people's experience can be a far greater teacher than your own. You will be amazed how many times people are willing to help you if you ask for it. If you don't know the direction, go to someone who's already been where you're trying to go. I cannot tell you throughout my professional career how many times I've sat down with people who are now mentors of mine, all because I wanted to hear their story. They will share their story. That often leads into a relationship that turns into a mentorship, that turns into someone you can call when you're facing challenges or you have questions. So I would just say, find someone who's already been where you want to go, because theoretically it should avoid you duplicating their mistakes.
Very good.
I think we have time for one more question.
So how important is graphics in your marketing campaigns, from billboards to TV ads to social media advertising? How much of your customer base would you say you attract through your graphic design marketing campaigns?
Whoever has the response can answer this. What I would say from our point of view is consistency. So the main thing is consistency. If you're going to go out with the logo with colors like Jordan said, you stick with those colors. You make sure that if somebody just kind of happens to catch it out of the corner of their eye, they know what that's for, even if they only see kind of shapes and they see the 2 colors or 3 colors, something like that. But if you guys have any specific experience.
I was just going to say consistency. It also depends on your market, like where you're at. I mean, different things have different impacts. You know, if you're in Maypearl, Texas, you know, the back of a baseball T-shirt might be where you need to go with that. If you're in Dallas, I mean, it just depends on your budget too. That's a really wide range of things to do.
Exactly. So it depends is the answer, I guess. But you know, if you're going to go through the act of creating something, then use it and use it consistently. Whether it's on a billboard or a digital ad or in print or whatever that may be. We're good?
All right. Daniel, Jordan, Kelleyton, and Amber, thank you so much for this wonderful, wonderful discussion. Everybody, let's give them a round of applause.